Well, that's not.
That's exactly what mine looked like.
What was wrong with yours?
I don't know, I pushed a little water and then I had some metal like that in my oil, so I just pulled the whole engine.
Not making any noises.
Change the oil and run it. Send it.
I'll hit it again. I'm just gonna send that.
What'd you do?
Dude, I'm pumped. So the last time I had my trans rebuilt, there must have been, I don't know what happened, but some crud went through my trans brake solenoid valve thing and boogered up the valve part.
Yeah, that port?
And boogered up the, what would you call that? The barrel where that valve slides in and out of. My trans brake has not done that in 9 months. At MKE, it stuck.
I remember.
And I let go of the button and like 3 seconds later, it finally went. But so what I've been doing every single pass is I've had to like do my burnout. I use the trans brake, and then I'll literally sit there after the burnout and do like 3 or 4 clicks until I can feel it releasing fast. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I can go make my hit.
Well, you shouldn't have to do that anymore now.
So
Looks fixed.
But I've been nervous about taking too much off that little valve. And so I messaged my trans guy and he's like, dude, just remove the material. It's fine. I'm like, okay. So this is my 3rd time doing it, but this was also my most aggressive, like actually using like 320 grit sandpaper. So what I did was I put it in the chuck of the drill and I literally took the sandpaper and went on the valve part, and then I wrapped more sandpaper and it was still sticky. So I took this on the freaking, don't, shut up. I'm funny. And I took the sandpaper.
You're a dork.
And I put it on the drill and I went in there and I went,
How'd you go?
And then I spun it around a bunch in the barrel, in the trans. And then finally, it finally does what it's supposed to.
I'm glad that
used to make that sound.
I'm glad that 5-second B-roll turned into a 20-minute explanation of what you did.
So
Good. Are you pumped?
more little tweaks. Maybe we can go race my car in a couple weeks.
Hey, all right. Ooh, I like the sound of that.
So I gotta fix this still. So I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get a new V-band or something. I'm assuming I stretched this one.
I think you're right. So get some V-bands coming so we can work on it.
I'm pumped. Let's go.
Right. Hey, some people lift weights for their health. I prefer a French press.
DadRodGarage.com. So I've been having little dips of oil pressure, top of first-ish. And this is a pretty common thing with F-body pans. When you start going faster, I'd say probably low 140s, mid 130s.
I'd start getting concerned around there, yes. We've had this pan cost us engines before.
And yeah, and
here we are.
Back then, 10 years ago, we didn't have enough oil in it. So I was running close to 7.5, 8 quarts of oil.
Quarts. When
I got this car, it already had the F-body pan, so I'm like, I'll just run it. I ended up buying the improved racing baffle, which helps for sure. For sure, it helps. But I started cutting, 120, 60 foots, and even 130s. Going back on my data logs, like my last 10 passes, if I look at them, every single one of them dipped to either 40 or 50 psi, while the motor is at 6,000 or 7,000 or even above. And then I slowly lose oil pressure out the back of out the long side. So
I think it's sucking some air along with oil as that oil crawls up the back of the pan.
Yeah.
The F-body pan, that pickup is in the front of the sump.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy location. It's for what we're doing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I've been doing some reading. I think I'm going to end up with the Summit $390. It's the windage tray. It's the pickup tube. It's a steel, manufactured pan. I'll have to re-weld up my turbo drain bung, but that won't be no big of a deal. And you don't have to buy an adapter, an oil cooler turbo adapter. It comes on the dang pan. That's $30 right there. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna reuse these bearings. They're not that bad.
No.
Are they scored?
A little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely scored.
I don't know how easy it is to see on camera.
They're definitely scored a little.
A little bit. Barely.
If this was like a nice motor, I'd be putting bearings in it.
I'd be making you put bearings in
But
it.
it's
stock bottom.
It's a stock bottom end. So I just got to fix this oil pressure issue so I don't continue having that much material every oil change.
Yep. With the pickup that's farther back.
Race cars. Are we having fun?
Get to it. When you get it consumes a whole lot more money and work and effort when you start going faster for that little bit.
That 8-second.
Yeah. Faster you go, the more it costs, time and money. So
you guys don't even know how excited this makes me. Y'all are gonna laugh and think this is dumb, but just the fact that I can walk up there and do that without like having to really hard barely press it 3-4 times before it would start. The fact that it's making that sound, music to my ears. Well, some bearing material, well, I say some, a lot of bearing material in the oil officially spiraled into changing the camshaft, checking on the oil pump, seeing what it is, because I'm not sure. I didn't put this motor together. And pulling the whole turbo kit off so I can also change the alternator pulley. And now we're pulling the radiator. Brake line shenanigans on Dad's car.
for sure.
Time for some adapters. I didn't have them in my stash.
No.
So he's got to figure it out now. All right, well, Bounty Hunter front end is ripped apart. I think tomorrow I'll end up pulling the oil pump, pull the valve covers, pull the rockers, pull the push rods, check all that out, make sure there's nothing weird going on in there. And if I don't find nothing weird, then I'm gonna stab a cam in it and change the oil pan and slap these bearings back in it and go from there. Hello.
Hi.
Almost got my old cam out.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I haven't found anything crazy weird that I could be like, yo, this is where all the oil metal's coming from. So I think it's just my oil pressure dips slowly but surely eating away at the bearings. So I ordered up a Moroso 7-quart 1042 pan or whatever it is. And I'm gonna slap these mains back on and the rods back on and shove my new cam in there and try and be ready to rip.
Rock and roll, baby.
Yep. I know the sketchiness that just ensued.
Oh my gosh. Thank goodness we didn't have the camera in the shop at that moment.
I kind of wish we did. That would have been really
We
entertaining.
would have got some views on it, that's for sure.
So
Bad
basically,
boys back in there.
these Camaro front ends are really long. So our cherry picker wasn't long enough to hang onto the motor.
I just
So
totally
we had
forgot.
to put it to the left, and then it wouldn't fit around the tire and the wheel, and we have the motor half in, balancing on the oil pan while
Engine.
Dad's holding the trans.
engine.
Same thing. And so,
we pulled it out on the
so-
lift, so it's a piece of cake.
so I picked up one of the legs on the cherry picker and then tried picking up the motor, but then the cherry picker almost fell over.
I thought it would
So
work.
I jumped on the cherry picker, so I'm literally controlling how high the motor is with how much weight
Engine.
I'm putting on the cherry picker.
And I decided his idea would be okay because I've seen a 3-legged dog run. So I'm like, yeah, it should work.
A 3-legged cherry picker kind of works.
Only if you have enough people to stand on it.
Yeah.
So thank
It'd-
God it was an aluminum engine.
It'd have gone had I not stood on it, jumped on it.
And I was under,
Yeah.
controlling the jack with the trans, but it's in.
Yay!
So now I gotta start putting it together.
Hot dates one step closer.
What a mess.
Update time.
Engine's in, so I started fitting the manifold and what hot side piping I have. So yeah. And the turbo is killing my back trying to hold it over the fender, so we rigged up the engine stand.
It's peg-legged,
Three-legged dog.
but it's working.
And so yeah, I'm gonna weld mounts tomorrow morning for the T6 flange, and then we'll get cranking on the hot side. And then start wiring and putting this thing together.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
I can't find anything wrong with my engine. I don't. It definitely looks like the first couple bearings that get oil are in the best shape, and the ones that get further away from the oil supply are in the worst shape.
Have a little bit more scoring.
So I guess all that metal is just from the dips of oil pressure I had. So I shimmed my
100%.
red spring in my 102.95, I think, oil pump is what they are, the Melling. And I put 0.08 shims in it on a red spring. So we'll see what my oil pressure relief ends up at. It was at like 70, 71. That was the highest oil pressure I ever got. I'm revving it out to 8,000. So I wanted to bump that up a little bit to keep with the 10 PSI per thousand. And then I spent the extra couple $100 and I went Moroso on the oil pan. I didn't want to have to fight leaks and stuff like I had read about some of the Summender Speedway pans. And that'll be here over the weekend. And then I got to weld my steel because this pan's steel. I have aluminum -10 bungs, but I don't have steel. So I'm going to have to wait or find a steel -10 bung for the oil drain. And then we'll be going back together. New
Cam motion cams in. Bigger, badder.
louder, maybe. We'll see. Hopefully I can hear it run this weekend.
Chop. Chop, 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 chop. Does it have the chop?
It needs it. Even for a turbo car, a turbo car can chop.
Putting her back together, huh?
Update time, I guess, huh? Almost. 2 more rod caps, bearings. I'm pretty confident everything we found is just bearing material, so.
So you cleaned it all up and retorqued everything?
Yep.
Cool.
All the mains are, well, I only pulled the one main, but all the rest of them, I checked the torque on them, made sure nothing was weird or loose.
Nice stock bottom in there, buddy.
Yeah.
Legit. You're not even lying to people.
Like Chris said, I let the magic out, though.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Magic's out.
I took it apart. It was really hard to get around this rack and can't remember.
Could have popped the rack out.
That's just 45. I still got to go to 65. Which I would probably do angle if it was out of the car.
Yeah, because we got the angle.
Trying to do these rod bolts.
Old school clicker, too.
Hey, there it is. Yeah, no digital beep.
Nope, not here. Get the old click, man.
There it is.
All right.
Pulled my spark plug so I could walk my pistons up and down. 2 of the plugs. I don't like how they look, so they got some detonation on them like that I didn't have the end of the season, so from sitting a month at a time.
Show the detonation, so guys, trying to get it focusing on there. I don't know if you can zoom in on it. There, it focused now. So you moved it.
Pretty good at focusing. There you go.
Yep.
So got some detonation on that plug. That's probably from the last couple times I've driven it.
For sure.
Like when I gave that ride. It's probably from sitting a month or so. Which I drove it and started it, heat cycled it when it was sitting in the garage and stuff.
My injectors are gonna have to go in too.
But
When you flushed.
for the
clean.
$80 or $100 or whatever it is to get injectors cleaned and flowed, it's cheap insurance.
Yep.
Especially when I already got a little bit sign that
And that doesn't mean it's not getting fuel. It just means that spray pattern could be a little off, and it's just a touch leaner than the other cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes.
And you don't know it because the other cylinders are getting fuel.
Right.
Yeah.
Because remember, the wideband's just the average of all 8.
Right.
You got to read your plugs. That's like the screenshot into the cylinder.
All right, I'll let you finish up torquing.
Yeah.
Oh. Trying to determine where this turbo goes is brutal.
Well, it's huge.
So I want it close to the front. I don't want it too far to the front. I want it level, but I can have it tilted down a little bit, but I don't want it tilted down too far.
And your hood.
I don't want to be off of this hot side too much.
Your hood's going to be like here.
Yeah. We're going to have to set the hood on it. I'm not confident with where this turbo goes.
I think it'll fit where it's at right now.
I want it as high as
barely.
possible.
You're gonna be like a 1/4 inch off that little
Come on.
half-inch
I got more than that, don't I?
I don't think so. Not with that 1/2 inch support that's on the
Come
hood.
on. Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then we got to make sure there's clearance for the downpipe.
Correct. Well, I'm
the
gonna
upper
have to just
control
angle that down pipe up here, and that's no problem.
I just think it's gonna take some space to get it to turn.
It is. It is.
So I think the turbo needs to come forward
No, I don't want to go forward.
a couple
anymore.
inches.
I don't want to go any further forward if I don't have to. Farther forward I go, the more nose weight, too.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty happy. Whoa!
Oh my goodness gracious.
I got a mess here. I took over your job, young man.
Of making messes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You made a mess in my garage in my house enough. Now I get to make a mess here.
Yep.
Sorry you tripped over it. But this really isn't not that far.
No.
A little bit of massaging and I can make that hot side work.
Well,
I'm pretty stoked.
I think Dad got his turbo figured out.
It's going to come
Where
up
it's
a 1/4
going.
inch from there. And it's going to just fit under the my steel hood.
Needs to pull this headlight here.
Oh,
This marker light.
But then I'm going to talk. No, that's turbo. Twin.
Oh,
twins
when
day.
you twins it, huh?
When I twins it, that'll be the case. And then this will be a tubular core support.
Yeah.
Tuck them both puppies right in there. But until then, this is,
I like it.
This is like what, an inch under the hood?
Yeah.
Maybe not even quite.
Yep.
3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna pull it up about a 1/4 inch,
Well.
and then we're gonna weld it up.
Well, update time. Got my alternator pulley switched around. Everybody's trying to go smaller pulley. I'm going bigger. Hopefully we can keep charging above 7,000 RPM now. That was... Might have gone too big on that. That's slowed it down quite a bit. Anyways, balancer is about to go back on once I get that back on. New Moroso oil pan is installed. Oil pump's on, timing cover's on. I did end up drilling like 2 3/4 inch holes in the back, like inch and a half of the windage tray. Hopefully that helps return a little bit more oil. And obviously this Moroso pan should do a million times better than that F-body pan with the sump in the and the pickup in the front of the sump. So going back together, I was hoping to hear it run today. But I don't think that's gonna happen because I'm really excited to hear this new cam and get her going for the season. Oh, I did get my injectors back from cleaning. So those are back in the intake. Everything flowed good. So happy there. I think I'm gonna make a spark plug cutter for this season so I can read plugs when we're at the track easily. And I'm gonna keep tinkering. Hopefully we can hear this thing run soon. Well, update time. I really wanted to get it running tonight, but that ain't gonna happen. It's just past 7. I'm gonna go home, spend time with my girls and my wife before the kids go to bed, eat dinner, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. Balancer's on, alternator pulley's changed, back on the bracket, water pump's on, injectors are in and tight. Note to self, or if you guys are ever doing the Morosa oil pan, I don't know about the Summit ones too. It does not, you need new rear bolts here in the pan, and it does not come with them. So thankfully we have a bolt bin full of miscellaneous bolts, and I was able to find a couple shorties that I could use. The only bolts the pan, ow, shoot, I just hit my head. The only bolts the pan came with was this guy here and this guy here. And if you have the ICT billet oil feed line, that is 1/8 inch NPT 2-4. This pan's feed is 1/4 NPT. So thankfully I had a brass airline adapter, so I shoved that in there. I got the oil drain welded in. I just capped it while I was cleaning everything. Got decent penetration all the way around, so I'm pretty happy there. And I measured, it should be within like a 1/16 of an inch of where I had it. So my line should work just minty. So I'm excited. Hopefully one more day of grinding and I can finally get this this turd fired up and hear the new cam. So we're getting close. See ya. Another day, another couple hours spent working on Bounty Hunter here. So I got the hot side mocked up back inside. I had to order V-bands for the 3rd time because I still don't have the right ones. So I'm going back to the first size I tried, which is 2.25, but a different brand. So it actually goes around the V-band because the V-band seems to be too thick, or a lot thicker than most are. So I'm borrowing V-bands off of Dad's car right now to hold this up. But anyways, so I figured out that with my radiator support right here and how my radiator sits in here, I can make a support, and I'm gonna weld it to this flange here, and then I'm gonna bolt it to this existing bolt for my little air diffuser to throw some air up into the radiator. So I'm working on that now. I went to Menards and picked up some mild steel. So I'm welding and tacking and grinding, and we'll see how this turns out in a few minutes. Cleaning up to head home. My welds ain't the prettiest, that's why we have a Dan, but it'll work. It'll hold the turbo. I could probably stand on it now, so that's a lot better than it being all loosey-goosey, if you guys remember from that previous clip. Now it don't move at all. So what I ended up doing was simply welded it to the turbo kit on that side and bolted it to my radiator support here. I do plan on putting some weight bolts or studs here so I can throw like 20-30 pounds on the front of the car when we're at the track. So I am going to gusset these up some and fix up some of these welds on both sides. But that'll at least hold my turbo now. So now it won't be melting the crap out of my, see where the hole started? See where the hole ended? So it won't be melting the crap out of my bumper and being all loosey-goosey, and it'll hold it for street driving. So I'm happy there. It's taking a lot longer to go back. Cars take a lot longer to put back together than they do take apart. That's for dang sure. I can't believe how long this is taking. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna rip it apart and I'll have it back together for the weekend. Well, it's Tuesday now, tomorrow's Wednesday, and it's still not going, so. All right, that'll be a wrap for the night.
You caught me.
You know what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing now.
Hey, you got a dash.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Heck yeah.
Got the dash fitted. I got the bars all painted. I'm not real happy with my paint job.
Oh, it's great.
But it's good enough for now. I think I want to do like a hammered to it eventually. I like that hammered look. That's what I did in my Firebird. I went semi-gloss black on this one. It's okay,
Matches the car.
I guess.
Black on black.
Dirty car. How fun is that?
Ooh.
I'm mad and jealous. I'm happy and mad and jealous.
Hey, once mine's together, I can 100% help you.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not so mad anymore.
And then you get the lift. And then you get the lift too.
Now I'm really happy. I need the lift. Getting up and down on the floor absolutely stinks.
Our plan was for my car to not be ripped apart in the first place, so you'd be on the lift doing your exhaust right now.
And I went a little farther on mine than I planned as well. So.
But I just got the radiator stabbed in, the freaking turbos on, the new V-bands showed up and they're the right size. I am freaking
exciting is
pumped.
that? You're rocking and rolling, man.
We're getting there. Well, it's time to go home. It didn't get started tonight, unfortunately, but man, I ain't gonna have much to do tomorrow afternoon to get it going. I broke a worm gear clamp, putting it back together, and oil lines are on, belt's on. So I gotta get a new worm gear clamp for a radiator hose and slap spark plugs in it. And I think it's ready to fire. Well, and add oil. Don't forget oil. That would be bad. And I think she's ready to fire. I'm so pumped. Hopefully tomorrow.
Leaks, because obviously we just had one when we primed the pump for the first time going back together. And if we don't have any fuel leaks, I can turn the motor over, build some oil pressure, plug the coils in, and then try and fire it.
Let's do it.
So I'll hit the key. If I have no fuel leaks, I will put the nuts back on those through bolts, tighten them down.
Oh, I see. You got the through bolts loose right now. But they're through the holes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Huh. I watched that injector move, man, like an 1/8 inch or more down.
I noticed that.
It went rrr.
Yeah.
Cool.
Both look good?
Yeah. No fuel leaks on that on driver's side.
I feel like I hear something. That might be the tank return though.
Maybe it's return because I hear fuel going through them. We gotta get rid of this call one of these days. That call sucks.
First time the motor comes out.
That call stinks, man.
And my screen.
Can't stand 4th gens.
My Holly screen isn't plugged in for some reason. I don't remember unplugging.
What'd you do that for? The shop's a mess. Let me get back to work on mine. I'm starting to get my exhaust, my downpipe run. Hey, what you doing in there, Buckwheat?
Plugging in my screen. I don't know why.
Gee.
I wonder if, oh, you know what I bet happened?
Hmm.
I bet someone's foot caught it.
Oh, yeah. I think I know who you're talking about, too. Wow.
I don't think I've driven since then, have I?
Not on the road. Now that's funny.
That's probably what happened. All right.
Go look at the video a couple back, and you'll see the guy that hit it with his foot.
Ride along.
The ride along video.
No big deal.
Nope.
That was
happens.
surprisingly like
Did it clip?
barely.
Like click?
Like
Oh.
it didn't feel strong.
Yeah.
All right. Nuts without dropping them into. So it'd be very easy to do with this intake.
It needs a big time clean job,
It
man.
needs washed
Yeah.
insanely bad.
And then you got to wrap it.
I should wrap.
Wrap the whole car.
DadRod garage. Well, I'm definitely gonna do
Yeah.
the hood.
DadRod Garage.
Do the hood and dog.
If you think Brandon ought to wrap his car, post below. Shoot it in the comments. Tell him what color to wrap
I'm
it.
definitely gonna do the hood and something dog, like the old dog bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be bad to the bone, though. I mean, it has to
Like
be.
a really cool.
If you're gonna do it, it's got to be mean.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
But it's got to be like dog, like you got to like modify him to make him like look mean,
Like larger than
like
life,
like a
almost
like a
cartoony.
zombie style
Yeah.
dog, like a like a mean bounty hunter, like a sci-fi bounty hunter dude. So if you're gonna do it, if you got some ideas for Brandon for wrapping his Camaro, post them below. Seriously, comment them below and like this video.
All right.
That'd be cool. We got to get
Rails
him to
are
do
tight.
that. Man, season is here. Let's get these cars going. We can make some killer videos. It's about time.
One will be.
Other than that stupid car sitting there. Man, I got behind on that thing with my shoulder surgery and
Yeah, I don't know if
daughter's
anybody-
wedding.
I don't know if anybody likes the garage videos.
No. Yeah, our channel hasn't taken off yet. It will.
Hope so.
It will. I think you're a great editor.
Coils are unplugged.
You got a personality to die
It
for.
is not gonna start because the coils are unplugged.
Okay, well, let's hear it crank.
Just gonna send
Get some oil pressure.
And you put oil in it.
Yes, more than I should have. Hear your pump. No fuel leaks. Got oil pressure?
No,
Oh.
I don't think it makes enough.
Oh,
Why does
crank.
it sound like one cylinder has no compression?
It definitely had a little whoop, whoop to it. Oh. You got all the plugs in, right?
Well, this is gonna be a downer
What?
if there's something wrong with the motor.
You check push rod length. Yeah, you check push rod length. I remember.
Coils are still unplugged.
Is it neutral? I don't hear no dead cylinder. I hear a little rumpity rump, but and we should have fire. Don't have a miss. It's good. No miss. Need it quiet. Take it away. Checking to make sure every cylinder's starting to heat up, make sure they're all firing. When we first started mine up the first time, I had a dead coil. I'm not talking to you. You always think we're talking to you. You always think it's about you. Cool with that. New cam. Will my fans turn on? See if my fans. Yeah. Yeah, fans are running. We gotta get some water in this thing. Water.
On the alternator, 13
I'm still good at idle. New cam's gonna be rowdy. It's a lot bigger.
I can't wait to try and spool it.
I hope it spools.
We fixed 2 massive boost leaks.
Yeah, big time. Otherwise,
Not boost leak, exhaust, hot side
leaks. I need your converter then, and you can order a new converter. You need a looser converter. I do need your converter, I know.
Mine's in the car, though,
Mine's too tight.
and I don't need them bolt together.
Mine's in the car now too.
You are gonna need a converter.
I know. 140. Now it's dropping. I got water to that sensor. 135. Just saw a bubble over here and sucked air.
It was straight water.
Good. I love these funnels. Are incredible. If you don't have one of these funnels, you need to get one. They're great for purpose systems. Where they've got the little holder you attach to the radiator cap, and then you're able to fill it with fluid. You just watch your coolant. Or straight water. There's some bubbles. Sometimes you get a real big burp. Looking pretty good right now. We gotta pack your chute.
If I'm gonna drive it. I grabbed my shirt and throw my pants.
It sprung open in the shop. Oh, we just gotta push the spring in it. The chute didn't fall out of the bag at least.